What's popping, y'all? One of the least expecting things to happen in this trial is Kid Cudi, aka Scott Mouse Cudi. He got up on the stand pointing out Diddy. And to be fair, one of the most surprising things is that he actually helped Diddy. So people thought that he was just going to go up there and, point him out. Number one, the first thing that I had to do was, in my brain, cancel everybody that was calling Kid Cudi a rat. Like, outside of jokes. Like, there are people that are saying, like, Rat Cudi, Kid Cudi, that rat bastard. Scott Mouse Cudi. I didn't see anybody say that before me, though, but someone probably did. It's not the brightest thing in the world to figure that out. But these are all jokes, though. Like, I don't actually think Kid Cudi's ratting or snitching on anybody, but there are some people that are serious, and those people, you gotta filter them out of my brain. Off rip, I got a tear in my eye from the level of nostalgia seeing Kid Cudi pull up as fly as he used to rock out in the early 2010s and late 2000s. I was like, man, that's so beautiful seeing this. Pause. That's so beautiful, reminding me of this great moment. Kid Cudi was fly, man, and he was plainly fly, especially during that era. So he pops in, and then immediately the thing that they ask him about is his car. And his car exploding, and also the relationship that he had with Cassie. Now, we do figure out that Kid Cudi is one of those people you want to keep away from your woman, because he's one of those people that has the mentality of, oh man, like I thought y'all broke up, like what's wrong with me hanging out with her now? Types like this. A type like this is a type that you don't want, especially Kid Cudi, right? Kid Cudi, this was 2010. Kid Cudi's swimming in options, and then he decides to go for Diddy's girl. And the reason why he even met Cassie was because Diddy said he set them up to do music in 2010. Now, this is important because I started doing some cross-referencing to Kid Cudi's music and what came of it during that era. 2009, Man on the Moon releases. Man on the Moon 2 releases in 2010. So this is Pursuit of Happiness. This is Erase Me with Kid Cudi. By the way, remember, Drake was in the Pursuit of Happiness music video, 2010. So Cassie gets linked up with Kid Cudi as he's scorching hot. Diddy was doing her a huge favor. And at this time, they were just trying to record, make some music. But then he starts, quote unquote, dating her in 2011. And they talk about this too in the court transcripts. In one of the quotes where it says, "We dated in 2011. And he says, who else was she involved with? Sean Combs, Diddy. And what did you know about their status? That she and Sean Combs had some problems and they weren't dating anymore." So Cassie's telling Kid Cudi, oh no, I'm not with that guy anymore. We had problems. And then he finds out that 5:30 or 6 a.m. he had a break in and that Diddy found out about them. So he has to go pick her up. So he's confused because he's like, yo, why is this girl calling me in a panic? Keep in mind, Kid Cudi, to a story like this, to a girl like Cassie, man, he's a sucker. And it's like one of those baits that you throw in, that fish is biting every single time. So he's like, oh man, like poor Cassie, I gotta go pick her up. Meanwhile, she's been freaking off, probably. Who knows? So he takes her to a hotel away from, in West Hollywood, away from his home in the hills. And then he gets information that someone's at his house. And we come to find out that there's no proof that it was Diddy in his house, but the security cameras were messed up. They were moved out of the way. His dog was jittery and scared. He probably felt that evil energy emanating from Sean Combs. And then later what happens is he's claiming that he wants to run the fade with Diddy. But then when Diddy's on his way, he calls the police. He's like, yo, I don't see this going well. And then he links up with Cassie after this event in Connecticut. So he already knows that there's issues between her and Diddy. However, what I think about Kid Cudi in this situation, whereas I think he should have never dated her in the beginning because he had some cordial relationship with Diddy. And I think that's enough, especially within an industry, to not want to take that dude's girl even if they break up. But she was probably telling him like, oh no, this is just like a toxic ex and I'm going to be in Connecticut. So Kid Cudi pulls up to Connecticut to, handle business with Cassie. So at this time, she's getting freaked off by Diddy and going to Cudi at the same time. So Chip, the guy that was on the Indica album and a close friend of Kid Cudi's, he lets him know that his car was on fire. He sends him the photos of his Porsche, and then a cocktail, and then it just ends up in flames. And unfortunately, for Cassie at least, she didn't get to play this game for too long. because Cudi calls Diddy and he wants to link with him. So they meet up at the Soho house. And when they meet up at the Soho house, the funniest thing is he describes Diddy as a Marvel supervillain because he's standing with his like think of Wilson Fisk in Daredevil or something. You see him staring out those floor-to-ceiling windows and his hands behind his back. I don't know if Diddy was like the guy that was... It's crazy because he also says that Diddy was really, really calm every time. When he called him when he was in his house, allegedly in his house, and the second time when they met. And then Scott says, he said, "We were homies. You know that is my girl." And they asked him, "What did you say?" He says, "I thought you had broken up." So Diddy thinks they're homies. Kid Cudi starts dating his girl. Even if they broke up, Kid Cudi violation right there. Now, I'm not saying that's the type of violation where you go light up the dude's car and break into his home, but that's a violation by Cudi there. Moving forward. And then he says, "Sean Combs offered me water twice." And it looked like Diddy was trying to get to the bottom of what was going on. And then Cassie said we had fallen in love, things happened. And then he shakes the hand of Diddy and says, "Yo, what about my car?" And Diddy's like, "What car?" Which just goes to show that Diddy is very, very in tune with making sure that he doesn't get in trouble or attached to anything, which I think perhaps lends itself more to the RICO charge, because they're always, when they're trying to charge the person at the top of the RICO, they're like, yo, this guy doesn't touch anything, he doesn't do anything, but he's directing all of this, so it has to go back to him. And then Brian Steele comes in, who is on Diddy's side, and they're trying to set a narrative, and they're not trying to discredit Kid Cudi, but they're informing him. Like they said, yo, did you know that there was DNA taken and that there was female DNA? Which they had an objection on that to Kid Cudi, and that's DNA from the car. And then him and Cassie stopped talking. He said he was in love with Cassie. Kid Cudi also went on to say that there was no forced entry in his home, that Cassie had access to his home, and that Cassie never said she was SA'd. She just said that Diddy was hitting her, which is probably the same thing she told that Alex Fine dude. So she's like, yeah, you know, Diddy's hitting me. And keep in mind, after they broke up, Cassie went back to Diddy for another 7 years. She didn't leave Diddy until, 2017, 2018 when Kim Porter died? So this was in 2011. So it's not like, oh, she just went back to Diddy and then was there for like 6 to 12 months and then left. She was there for another 7 years. And Kid Cudi even went on to admit that him and Diddy had no idea what was going on with Cassie. So they both thought that they were with Cassie. And Cassie was telling both of them that she wasn't with the other guy. And this is also what led to the $20,000, or was it $30,000, that Cassie's mom had to take out on a loan to pay for the stint of time where Diddy was financing her and she was with Kid Cudi at the same time, where she was getting smashed on the side. So when you look at it overall, in this specific instance, Kid Cudi just sat there, told the truth and nothing but the truth. I don't think he was trying to take down Diddy, nor do I think he was trying to take down Cassie. He gave his objective truth and experience, which the guy got shook up. And the reason why I said we got to look at the years is Kid Cudi's next album after Man on the Moon 2 was in 2012, which is a year after this incident. And that was only with Dot the Genius. It was Kid Cudi and Dot the Genius. And that was all like the writing and production. And some people, you know, they were like, yo, what's going on here? They didn't really mess with the album. Some people liked it, but it was far away from hip hop. So really, that incident, how much can we say, this is something that I would have loved to ask, how much did that incident scare Kid Cudi out of hip hop to just work with Dot because that's somebody he could trust and he didn't want to run into Diddy anymore? And one thing that people will say is like, yo, why didn't people just call the cops on Diddy? Man, at that time, Diddy was so powerful. It was unreal. Like, he had people cleaning up after him. He had people breaking into homes. He had people doing who knows what. And also, the defense were arguing, or they were trying to allude to the possibility that it was Cassie that left the door open because there was no forced entry into Kid Cudi's home. And I do believe that's possible. So Cassie is really an incredible high-level manipulator in this scenario because she's cheating on Sean Combs. She's with Kid Cudi. She's getting the benefits of both, whatever it is. She's really using Kid Cudi as a pawn to make Diddy jealous. And then we get to the position where now these guys are in a situation that they don't know that they were put into by Cassie. So that's not, we will also cover, I've just been sick, so I haven't been able to cover a lot of what's been going on, but we'll cover my overall thoughts on Cassie, and I will shorten it and sum it up. I believe the only thing that Cassie was a victim of was DV, which is not what this case is about. And I do believe that Diddy was, they had to get that man out of here. That guy is a menace. He's worse than a villain. Now, what freaks me out about Diddy being so calm, especially with Kid Cudi is you knew this guy was liable to outbursts of violence. So it's like, whoa, what's going on here? Is he just calm until, is he strategically violent, or does his temper flare and he gets violent? Who knows? But let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Kid Cudi also dropped a Twitter video, which I'll play for you guys right now.
Hey guys, so I just want to say, man, I've been seeing all the love and support, and I just want to say thank you so much, man. People have been hitting me up the past week, just checking in, and even today, and it really means a lot to me, man. You guys are the best. I love y'all. This is a stressful situation. I'm glad it's behind me, and yeah, I love y'all, man. Big love. Go stream Neverland.
So he just showed some love to all the support he's been getting, and he also shouted out his new single that came out May 9th. I actually listened to it. I didn't know that it came out on May 9th. It's a good song. It's more of like a pop song. It's good to see him doing the music that he enjoys and like doing all of these like animations. I think it was Intergalactic that he did. I didn't watch that yet, but I will watch that this weekend just to support Kid Cudi. You guys know I love Kid Cudi's. Or if you don't know, like Kid Cudi's music is some of my favorite of all time. Potentially because it came at the right time in my life as well. For many others too. Kid Cudi as a person, I don't know. I've never met him. But I will say that what he did with Diddy there was a little grimy, dog. Even if you thought they were broken up. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And I'm see y'all in the next one. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Go to helloyassine.com. Thank you for watching. Peace.